Hi, this is Mark Henninger, the editor at Sound+Vision magazine, and I am here at CanJam 2023 with Andrew Lissimore, who is the co-founder and CEO of headphones.com, a website that is revolutionizing the headphone shopping experience, which is very important because of the lack of stores where you can go in and do demos, and also the tremendous amount of headphones that are out there today. Even if you went to a store, you probably wouldn't find the selection you want. So with that lead in, Andrew, just tell me what headphones.com is about, and also what you're feeling in the show.
Well, first, Mark, thanks so much for humbling us by coming to visit our booth, and for attempting to do an interview in all this madness and chaos. I really appreciate it.
All right.
So what makes headphones.com, I think, really unique is the fact that we are a store that sells stuff, but we kind of started the store by accident because we were so enthusiastic about headphones and audio. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story about how it happened. I was working as a software executive and kind of depressed, to be honest, because it wasn't that fun. I was working for SaaS companies, and I wanted to buy speakers to make myself feel better because I love them. And my wife, who is super conservative, financially conservative, said, "This is stupid. These speakers at $20,000 or whatever the price was, they make no sense. These are just stupid things to buy." And I was like, "She's kind of right, but I still want them." So I thought, hey, if I start a little company on the side selling this stuff, I get to be around all the gear, and as long as the company breaks even, it's not going to have a financial impact. And so Monica, my wife, couldn't complain too much. And so that worked, and that was the genesis for the company.
It's a hobbyist just trying to find a way to sneak that good gear in.
Totally, and I think as a result of the way that it started, because we never thought that this was a good way to go and make money and make a career, we started with a really interesting perspective of, okay, what's kind of a utopian store for people like us who love this stuff? So we started from scratch from there. And I remember my brother and I, who's the co-founder of the company, we were sitting down and we were thinking, okay, what are all the cool things that we'd love to see in a store? And most of them were so ridiculous that we couldn't actually do them. And one of them, though, was 365-day returns.
Oh, okay.
And we thought, okay, that looks ridiculous, but we should see if it can actually be feasible. And so I made a financial model, and I was like, oh, this is looking a little iffy, but let's try it, because it'd be so cool if we can make it happen. And so that was 5 or 6 years ago that we started to do that. And it was really hard, but I think it's just one of those things that really differentiates a company like this when it's really hard to go experience audio gear in person these days. Not everyone has a great hi-fi store in their neighborhood or community. And so we thought, this is a really good way to have a proxy. It's not as good as going to a store and getting to test everything, but it was a cool way to kind of bring some of that experiential part of shopping for headphones and high-end audio to a store. And that actually led us to, I think, what a lot of our business model became was more about educating people about this whole space and removing all the barriers to getting into it. Because I think it's just, for a lot of people, it's really opaque feeling, very complex. There's a lot of gatekeeping in the industry. So we thought, hey, let's get a lot of great creators together to start making content that helps educate people. It makes it a lot easier to start enjoying this hobby, armed with a lot more knowledge without all the friction.
So you're trying to get them to buy the right headphones so they don't return it in that huge return period that you've got.
Yeah, if you think about this, we have the ultimate incentive for us to make sure people get the right thing, because we know that if they buy the wrong thing, we're going to get it back at some point, right?
Sure, no, that makes a ton of sense to me. So how many different headphones, roughly, can people shop for?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. Increasing number every day. And I'd say we've got all the best brands in the world represented here. I'd say there's probably 200 plus different headphones that you could buy, but don't quote me on that. I'd have to actually go count them up these days. But we're adding brands all the time as well. Usually it comes through our reviewers. They'll tell us, hey, have you guys tried this? This thing's awesome. And then we look into it, and then we reach out to them, and then we add it to the portfolio.
Feedback sort of informs what's in the selection.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a really great group of creators who spend all their time testing headphones and listening to them, and so they've got a pretty developed ability to spot great products, and so we take advantage of that.
Any trend right now, 2023, in headphones that you're seeing strong?
I think it's the first year that wireless high-end headphones are starting to become a really credible option for audiophiles. There's still a bit of a gap, I think, in terms of wireless noise canceling headphones being great for sound and comparable to their wired counterparts. That gap is narrowing really quickly, and I think this year is the time that, this year in the end of 2022, where a lot of releases came out that I've been using, which is, I think, the ultimate bar. So I've swapped out my typical noise canceling headphones for the plane, and I now have some high-end ones from Focal that I'm using on the plane. It feels great.
They're great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Okay, that's cool. So basically removing the barrier for those audiophiles to also try these products, which I agree that it's a category that has expanded, and the high-end options are now coming from companies that have like a lineage in making that kind of product. And so, yeah, it's sort of a fun time.
Yeah, it's like a democratization of the technologies behind wireless noise canceling headphones. You can license a lot of the things you need as a manufacturer now to be able to take your expertise in transducer design, for example, and then add really good software and chipsets. It's still not the stuff that Bose and Sony and Apple have, but it's really close. And if you combine it with really great audio, you're getting and great industrial design, and you're getting some really great products now.
Right. So if you can't come to this show, go to your site. That's basically.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely say at some point in your life, make the pilgrimage to come to one of these, because the one thing we can't do on our site is recreate being with all these people who share your passion.
That's true.
We have a community, and you can talk asynchronously through text, but there's just something about looking at people's faces when they're trying this gear.
No, it's amazing. This shows.
There's a whole energy around it. It's really neat.
The smiles on people's faces. There's psych. There's lines, and just hearing the chatter. Yeah.
Totally, and that's one of the reasons we bring so many people to come see this, especially new employees, because it's one thing to kind of see our website and see our copy. It's a whole other thing to see the joy in people's faces when they're trying the stuff that you sell. And it's a part of, like, music touches your soul, right? And you can just see that happening to people in real time. I think it's pretty inspiring.
That's cool.
It makes it a lot of fun.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you, Andrew, and I appreciate the chat, and I hope the rest of the show goes awesome for you.
You bet. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate it.
Cool.